Så där ja, varmt välkomna tillbaka ska ni vara till Aktieportföljen live. Och jag ser att ni har skickat in lite frågor i chatten. Det är givetvis jättebra. Jag ska se till att jag kommer ihåg att ställa alla frågor framöver. Med mig nu i studion har jag Patrik Bernstein. Du är vd på Prebona. Varmt välkommen hit.
Tackar.
Du kommer att få köra din presentation och sen kommer jag tillbaka på slutet för att ställa lite frågor.
And I will do it in English.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kajsa, for the introduction. My objective today is to convince current shareholders and potentially new shareholders about the inherent business strength in Prebona AB. And I start with three statements. The foundation for growth is by now in place. We are managing this growth in a structured way, and we are on a clear path to profitability. Now, for those that don't know Prebona until now, I will make a very, very quick briefing or explanation where we come from. Professor Otterstedt founded the technology in 2011. He came from Chalmers, was a professor of small particle technology, and has been working with silica technology, which is the foundation for our high-tech solutions since his whole life, basically. And in 2015, the company was taken over by Christian Östberg, who then worked diligently for 3 or 4 years to set up patents, do the R&D, stabilize formulations, technology, and make it proper. However, the company was very tech-driven up until the end of 2019, and the board asked me to come in and put a more market drive on to this technology and see if we can, not if, and see two, that we build up the business over the time. Now, we started very aggressively and then COVID struck. So I told the board I will need 3 years to actually make it happen. That's based on my own personal background experience. It takes about 2 to 3 years to get going. And COVID has extended this period till end of 2022, 2023. Now, what we've been doing for the last years, we have actually been building the distribution footprint. Now, we have communicated about a year ago that our financial ambitions are about 80 million. This looks like an aggressive hockey stick. And of course, I will be measured if you believe that we can achieve this or not during this presentation. Now, it's based on 4 that you can see at the bottom of the chart, 4 existing deals that we are working with, which are active. It's OptiBoost, that I will talk about, Polygiene, ZEP in the US, and Jape in Sweden. And then we have a lot of prospects, and we only calculate about a fifth of those to actually come into place, so 20%. And as we communicated this morning, we will more aggressively actually work with our own brand portfolio, starting in, we have started, but we will do it more aggressively in 2023. Now, I need to talk shortly about technology, but I would like those that get intrigued by it to look more at our homepage, prebona.com. But to give you the gist of it, what we do and what Professor Otterstedt actually managed to do, he found a way to attach atoms and molecules onto nano-sized silica particles. So basically what we do is we functionalize silica particles. And by doing that, we can achieve actually different properties such as odor elimination, surface protection, nutrition solutions, or disinfections. Depends on how we combine these two materials, silica and various active ingredients. This makes us extremely unique, and that's obviously why we have a patent. And the patent is very important because when we work with the biggies, the huge companies, the first thing they check is, are we patent protected? Otherwise, they won't even spend time with us. So that's very positive. We are extremely versatile, and we are environmental friendly. And that has to do with the fact how we use nature's own material in our technology. Now, as you can see on this chart, it says game changing. And I have seen a lot of companies that actually go for game changing. How can we explain game changing? And how can we explain that we are truly game changing? I've used this slide for about a year now because we had to find a way to tell the R&D departments why we are different and how we are different. And this is all public information. So I compare ourselves with one of the biggest brands in the world, Microban, who offer 24-hour bacterial protection, keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria. And you can see in the more reddish, or I should say, whatever the color is, pinkish, what they are using in terms of ingredients. Now, we have a surface disinfection called Prebona Disinfect K. We achieve the same and more with 99% of deionized water that has been mixed with about 1% of these nano-sized silica particles, and then we add 2 active ingredients, in this case copper sulfite and cinnamon as an active ingredient. And we achieve actually the same, but not only bacteria, we also achieve fungi and virus, and using international tests to prove this. So this is not test done by us, it is tests done by independent test institute. Now, Microban has been around for, I don't know, centuries almost, and we just starting out, but we have an enormous opportunity. But you can take this example as a measurement for everything we do, actually. We have the same small level of ingredients in any kind of formulation that we do. I mentioned versatile. And when I show this chart, there are so many experts, hopefully also in the audience, that will say, oops, how can a small company like Prebona be in all of these business areas? Where is your focus, Patrick? Or where is your focus, Prebona? And this is really important to understand. We can, with our technology, literally customize by adding different type of active ingredients. So we create odor elimination effects, surface protection effects. We do medical solutions, disinfection, odor reduction within stoma and wound care, and we do agricultural nutrient solutions for roses and cuttings. So this is really important to do. We do not do the sales and the marketing within these areas. The only thing we do and concentrate on is our formulation, and that is our inherent strength. And that's what we really build our future on. So, what have we achieved then? I mentioned initially we're working on the distribution footprint. You see the company Polygiene up in the left corner. That's where we were when we started at the end of 2019. We had 1 customer. Today we have, these are not all, but these are the ones that are currently active that we display on the homepage. There are some we are not allowed to display on the homepage yet, but these we are. And then on top of that, you see the little box. We have in total 4 non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, with 4 global players that we are not allowed to talk about. The top is within paints and coatings. And both of those companies are within the top 5 of the world in terms of size and market dominance. 1 is in Asia, 1 is in the US. And there we are doing trials and testing with very interesting results. And I expect business maybe end 23, early 24 within that segment. And then we have surface treatments and surface protection, where we today already are working with, for example, Jape in Sweden. But these are global companies that are looking at our DuraClean formulation right now and testing, and also there we expect to go into business 23, 24. Now, extremely important is that all of these have been achieved under the strategy we set out at the end of 2019. We were both addressing B2C and B2B at that time, and we said with a small company size we need to focus, and we need to focus properly, and we need to be ingredient brand or private label, maybe easier to explain. In some, actually, we are an ingredient in a formulation, like in the paints, but on the other ones, like SEP, Jape, and some others, it's actually private labeling. Now we claim they're powered by Prebona. So from my point of view, from my perspective, this is part of building the distribution footprint, and we have been successful, and there is more to come. Now I need to focus, because this presentation today is more targeting towards sales instead of technology. And I need to dig in, and I want to dig in to some of these customers, the bigger ones that I mentioned initially, that are driving our future sales. So let's look at OptiBoost, OptiCept and Syngenta. We joined with them about 2 years, and here COVID certainly delayed, but we are really up and running now. And the split of responsibilities within this segment is OptiCept has developed a fascinating hardware, a vacuum method where you can put flowers in. We do the nutrient solution, so we give the nourishment to the flower, and through the vacuum process, basically we boost the flowers. That's why it's called OptiBoost. We boost the flowers with this technology. And Syngenta, as a global brand, has looked at this intensely, been working now with us all the way, and they are responsible for the marketing and the sales. And our vision is, of course, that we will be part of a change of the flower industry. Now, this is a little bit small to see, but what happens is that we boost the quality of roses. Now we're talking roses initially, but the technology is absolutely potent for other flowers. And I mentioned rootings for eucalyptus woods and stuff, where we also have started now our road together with Syngenta and OptiCept. But at the end of the day, I will show you a chart, and excuse the mess, it's a little bit messy, because there are many numbers. You don't have to remember the numbers. What I want to say with this one, the business of roses, this is only roses, is enormous. It's billions of roses that are being cut every year. And at the end of the day, it's a logistics business. You can see to the left, you have a map of Holland where everything is being centered in Holland and then shipped across Europe at least. You have Miami on the other side, where you come from South America. There's a lot of business in Europe coming from Kenya and Ethiopia. But I highlighted Colombia and Ecuador, which is our South African market, where Syngenta and OptiCept now have managed to secure partnerships with Elite Flowers, Grupo Funza and EQR. That has been communicated to the market. I'm not sure that everybody understands the inherent potential. You can see that EQR cuts 128 million roses every year. And Elite 400,000 and Funza 88,000 or 86,000. And they are of course working with to get more and more of these. And once the commercialization phase starts, the business potential is substantial. Another new partner, really exciting. We were just allowed to communicate that it is Jape, and Jape is taking our DuraClean into their own, and this will be launched in Q1 2023. We will see the turnover this year because they have to fill the bottles and all that. And Jape has about 1,300 distribution points in Sweden and Norway. We don't expect to have all of them in the first year, but we do expect to have a big chunk of them. Polygiene, you probably know the best. What is really exciting there, for me, Polygiene is a perfect example how they are taking our technology and marketing it in a very, very smart way, environmental friendly. And it's all about odor control, which you need if you want to have fulfill their strategy, wear more, wash less. And finally, CEP. CEP is, we're really proud of. It took over 2 years to get the business with CEP going. Now we are there, and we really plan to expand our portfolio with them. One of the viewers asked about exclusivity. They do not have an exclusivity in the United States, so we are open for others, but we actually focus very strongly on CEP. They like us, we like them, and we expect to grow with them substantially. Now, rounding up in the last couple of minutes, I'm trying to paint a very positive and strong picture of our business potential. Of course, and then you look at the sales and you see, that's a lot of talk for very little sales. Now, one of our biggest challenges that I have been saying the whole time is timing. We are not moving, we don't control our timing, our customers do. They move in their speed, they don't move in ours. They do not have the same sense of urgency. However, I firmly believe in the strategy because when we get them, the volumes will come, and we have them. Now, the second part, so the opportunity for us is actually to expand our positioning, but we have to do that very smartly. We cannot just say that we're going to market on a huge marketing effort. We have to find a very niched segment, which we have. So we will actually do Prebona branded products. We have started on a small scale, but in 2023 you will see a more aggressive stance for that. And we will do it in two segments. These are more internal. We call it Prebona Health Tech and Prebona ProTech. We will launch something called Prebona Inodorous, which is in Latin no smell and disinfect, and infinitum is long term. That's where we have our different segments. In health tech, we specifically target stoma and the wound care segment. That is a very, very special problem that we can help solve. And we focus to the international medical elder care and home care sector. And in ProTech, basically, we have our standard formulations, odor elimination, surface protection, to the professional facility management segment. 2 words on stoma. There are about 45,000 stoma patients in Sweden, 80,000 roughly in in Scandinavia, and about 1.5 million in Europe. They have a very, very big problem because when they have to change and they cannot control, there is always a very unpleasant smell. And we have proven and tested that we are very effective to battle this smell. And we also have wound care, diabetes, often diabetes-related problems that generates a lot of smell. And also here we have proven to be very effective. This means that we can actually help both patients but also the staff and the working environment by battling these smells. So we are very excited about this, and we are now negotiating with and selecting our distributors for the coming launch of this one. And within ProTech or Prebona Infinitum, we made a very sort of small launch together with another Swedish company at Interclean in Amsterdam, but it actually led to some really nice leads. And Korea has launched, and it's the first out with Infinitum. We will not push it too hard, but we definitely will have it available where there is a market opportunity. So what is the benefit of doing the branded products? Why do we believe it's so important? Let me first of all say our ingredient brand strategy is absolutely a key priority. We are not going to deviate from that. It is our key focus. And we believe the bulk of the volume will come from there. But once we go in our own name, obviously we will increase the visibility in brand recognition. That will lead to brand value. Anybody who's been in marketing and sales knows this. You don't have to be a rocket science to understand that principle. And we definitely believe it will help build shareholder value, especially when we focus now the health tech segment, because if we can prove ourselves there, which is a guarantee of quality, we will have a spillover effect into other segments. So that's one of the reasons why we do it very specifically, and obviously the distributors that we work with will do most of the marketing and sales. And maybe last, we will definitely increase our chances to control our own destiny in a different way. So in total, and my 20 minutes in the spotlights are basically over, and Kajsa will soon ask me a lot of questions, I hope. You have to measure us, Prebona, me, about these things. I hope I managed in these 20 minutes to prove to you that the foundation actually is in place. We are managing the growth in a structured way, and we are on a clear path to profitability. Over to Kajsa.
Thank you very much, Patrik, for that presentation. Well done.
Thank you.
So, I want to start up with the last slide that you mentioned. You're going to turn it into Prebona branded products more. What's the biggest challenge doing that kind of change within your company? The biggest challenge is not to make it into a mass market consumable, because there are totally different rules on doing that. And that's why I really want to point out to shareholders and to everybody that we are not deviating from our core focus priority ingredient brand strategy. So that's why we are choosing
very small specific segments where we can work with. We will probably work with one distributor in Scandinavia, and then we will find a global player in the second step outside of Scandinavia. That's the strategy. But it's not so that we now are going to be a L'Oreal or we're going to be a Nike or something like that. But it will be under our own brand name. That's the key here.
And why is that the right choice for you guys?
Well, like I said, I firmly believe it will help build the reputation for Prebona, especially, like I said, if we are successful in the health tech segment. So we expect to have a spillover effect here. But it will. Well, I can't talk too much about it. We have proven, we have done a lot of testing, and there's a lot of excitement because we actually do solve the problem. But let's say 45,000 stoma patients in Sweden, you know, if we get 10,000 of them, they need a product that is daily. That is already, in terms of volumes, substantial business for us. So very targeted, very specific.
Understand. And like you mentioned, you have your business is within 4 different areas. Could you say which one of those areas is performing the best?
No, I can't. Actually, the cool thing is that, and this is also about risk management, basically what many companies actually do wrong, they find one big company and then they go all in, and then they change strategy, and then you're standing there. So for me, it's really important to be in all of these. You know, that's where this question about focus comes all the time, but I hope I managed to explain that, how we can battle that. So from my point of view, it is, I hope I answered it correctly.
I understand. You're focusing on all of the 4 different areas, and they're equally as important.
Down the road, maybe I should say, down the road, if we are successful, not if, when we are successful with OptiBoost, in terms of business potential, I think that definitely has a huge potential.
And OptiBoost was the one about the
flowers.
The flowers.
Yes, flowers and cuttings, so rooting systems, which you also can do vacuum boosting with, and that will actually increase and speed up the rooting, so that eucalyptus trees, quick moving trees, this is, you know, top line in the environmental sector, that you can actually speed up the process, but in a natural way, not through chemicals, in a natural way, nutritions, and this vacuum process. So, I mean, let's say medium term, I do think OptiBoost has really big potential, but all the other ones definitely.
Interesting. We have also a question about, this is I would say this is kind of a different area, but apparently you're doing in vivo studies regarding antibiotic resistance. This sounds really interesting because I know that's a huge problem, antibiotic resistance. Can you just tell me a bit about this?
Yes, I could, but I will not, because we will talk about this coming up during this year. We are currently doing the 4th round of testing, looking very promising, but I choose on purpose not to put it into this presentation. We have Prebona Healthcare, and the current investors are very aware of this one. And we are doing it with Uppsala and Malmö or Lund University, where we are actually doing both of those in vivo and vitro at the moment. And we expect results, let's say, Q4.
Okay.
And we will communicate those.
I will wait then.
that was an observant shareholder who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, definitely. We will have to wait. So let's talk a little bit about the products that you have launched here in Sweden. I know that you have an anti-smell product here that you launched in all the Bauhaus stores in Sweden. How has it been received?
Reception has been good. We are listed, but it's not us who are doing that. I just need to clarify. That is one of our companies called Scandinavian Non-Woven. They have taken on, so they buy the liquid from us and they promote it into the trade, including Bauhaus. But that's a very good question anyway, because it helps us to present this outside of Sweden. Bauhaus is a name, so we use it as a reference. So now when we're talking to our German or Turkish partners or even French partners, we can actually say, look, they believe in it, they are testing it, and they are selling well.
Yeah, they know about Bauhaus.
They know about it. So it's also about having reference customers, and we have focusing in Sweden. And Jape will certainly be helpful also in that respect.
Yeah. So you also have the North American market, and you spoke a little about SEP. How has and I think you recently received some good news from your distributor SEP about the North American market, if I'm correct?
Well, like I had in the presentation, I maybe went quick there. They have managed to secure Menards, which is a big retail chain with over 300 stores, and Canadian Tire, which is also a big retail chain, and they have a lot of outlets. Basically, you can compare it to. Well, I guess you can compare it to Bauhaus or something like that here in Europe. SEP took 2.5 years, I said before, over 2 years to get. When we pinpointed them 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, we saw they are a chemical supplier, they're a $1 billion company. Odor control is our first. We believe we can do pads with them, we believe we can do DuraClean with them, and maybe also some other technologies. But they just started, and that's the important thing now. So we will see some initial sales in 2022, but they are going all in, as you can see. They're building the distribution now, and that's the way it works in the consumables. First you have to convince them, then they start pitching, which is Jaap is doing now too. They are pitching to their customers, and then basically it will grow out and build distribution.
So you see a great potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we do not have them as exclusive, but at the same time, America is tricky. Everybody sees the size, and wow, we have to be in America. At the end of the day, it's almost trickier than doing business in Europe. So you cannot defocus there either. So we have now our key account manager, Frederick. He is giving a lot of attention to SEP to make them successful and help them actually with all these sales-related opportunities, inquiries.
So we have about 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left, yes, I see.
If you would like to what's the main reasons why one should invest in Prebona right now?
The main reason is, as far as I'm concerned, and I hope I managed to explain it in these 20 minutes, the technology is amazing. That's one of the reasons why I went in at all. I'm not a chemist, I don't understand much, but when it was explained to me, the versatility and the environmental friendliness of the technology is amazing. I mean, why are we talking to some of the biggest companies in the world? We don't have the sales with them yet. They would never even look at us, look at our turnover. They are really eager, and we have NDAs with them. They are investing money in testing, their own money in testing, not our money. So there is something fascinating with this, how you can achieve it with deionized water, silica particles, which is sand, nature's own material, and you functionalize them in a smart way. That's the patent. That's what it's all about, and I think that is the key. Then it will be up to the business development team to actually build this distribution footprint, and we are 3 or 4 of us are actually working on that hard. And the moment we are getting a little bit stronger, we will mainly focus on building the key account side to do the business, to drive the business growth basically even more. It
sounds like you're on a really exciting journey.
It is exciting. No, I like it a lot. It's fun.
I can see. Well, thank you very much, Patrik.
Time is out.
Time is out.